Mercury in the 7th house, the mind as partner. Welcome to Mercury in the 7th house in Synastry. In this overlay, we explore what happens when one person's Mercury, their mind, their voice, their way of engaging with the world, falls into another person's 7th house, the house of partnership, committed relationship, one-to-one relating, and the qualities we seek, often without fully knowing we are seeking them, in a significant other. This is one of the most classically significant overlays in relationship astrology. The 7th house describes what we look for in a partner, the qualities we reach toward in the search for someone to walk beside us through life. When another person's Mercury lands here, their mind becomes something the house person experiences as genuinely partner-like, not simply interesting, but fitting in the specific way a complement fits. The house person feels in the Mercury person's presence that they have found someone who thinks in a way that is deeply complementary to their own. The Mercury person's intelligence, their communication style, their particular way of engaging with ideas and with the world, all of this feels like something the house person has been looking for, even if they did not know to name it. There is often a quality of recognition. This is someone I could genuinely reason with, someone I could build a life with and never run out of things to say. The Mercury person, for their part, feels naturally oriented toward the house person's world of relationship. They find themselves thinking carefully about what fair exchange means with this particular person, what good partnership looks like in practice, how communication can be kept honest, open, and mutual over time. The 7th house draws Mercury's attention to the ethics and dynamics of relating itself, which is an unusually reflective experience for a planet that often prefers to stay in motion. One of the great gifts of this overlay is its capacity for genuine dialogue about the relationship. The 7th house is the house of the other, of meeting someone truly different from oneself and finding a way to build something together through negotiation, compromise, and mutual recognition. When Mercury lands here, it brings the specific gift of verbal exchange as a primary mode of partnership. These two people talk about their relationship. They articulate what they need, what they are offering, what is working and what is not. They negotiate with language rather than with silence or withdrawal. This capacity for explicit, honest, productive communication about the relationship itself is far rarer than it should be, and it is a genuine strength. There is also a quality of mental respect here. The Mercury person tends to take the house person's views seriously, not simply accepting them, but genuinely engaging with them, arguing when necessary, refining their own thinking in response. The house person feels met as an intellectual equal, which is a significant experience in the terrain of partnership. To the challenges. The Mercury person may become overly analytical about the partnership, treating it as a problem to be understood and solved rather than an experience to be lived and felt. There can be too much processing, too much conversation about what the relationship is and what it should be, at the expense of simply being inside it. The house person may also begin to feel that the Mercury person intellectualizes the emotional dimension of their connection, that when something tender or painful is happening, the Mercury person reaches for words and analysis rather than for presence and warmth. There can also be a debating quality that, over time, becomes exhausting. The 7th house is the house of the other in negotiation, and Mercury can turn that ongoing negotiation into something relentless, as though every difference of opinion requires resolution through discussion, as though there can be no peace until everything is understood. The corrective is learning when to speak and when to simply be. Not every moment in a partnership requires articulation. Some things are better felt than explained. When navigated with emotional intelligence alongside intellectual honesty, Mercury in the 7th house produces one of the most communicatively rich and mutually respectful partnerships in synastry. Two people who genuinely understand one another, who can talk about difficult things without falling apart, and who bring their best minds and their best intentions to the ongoing work of building a life together. Mercury in the 7th house is ultimately about the mind in relationship, the discovery that true partnership is, among other things, an ongoing and ever deepening conversation.
Thank you for listening. Next, we explore Mercury in the 8th house.